Yes.
Here we go. Come on, everybody. Clap your hands. Oh, you're looking good. I'm going to sing my song. It won't take long. We're going to do the twist, and it goes like this. Come on, let's twist again, like we did last summer. Yeah, let's twist again, like we did last year. Do you remember when things were really humming? Yeah, let's twist again. Twist the time is here. Round and up and down we go again. Oh baby, make me know you love me so. And then come on, let's twist again, like we did last summer. Yeah, let's twist again, like we did last year. All right. Who's that flying up there? Is that a bird? Is that a plane? Is that the twister? Yeah, let's twist again, like we did last summer. Yeah, let's twist again, like we did last year. Do you remember when things were really humming? Come on, let's twist again. Twist, the time is here. Round and up and down we go again. Oh baby, make me know you love me so. Then come on, let's twist again, like we did last summer. Yeah, let's twist again, like we did last year. Come on, let's twist again. Twist, the time is here. Pop, pop. You guys are all right. Moving that, working that lunch off.
Okay, well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Pilates, Matt Pilates. I'm John Cochran, and this is a progressive class. We usually start very simply and build up to harder stuff as we go through the quarter. I'm not sure how this is going to work on Zoom. I need to tell you a few things about Pilates. The first thing you need to know is that we work really hard on the abdominal muscles, all the muscles of the core. And one of the things that we do in Pilates to protect the back, I'll lie down here and check to make sure I can be seen. Looks like I can. So I'm going to exaggerate this, but if you arch the spine away from the mat, there's this big space here. We can put the fingers down behind the spine. And, you know, if you're just lying here in a neutral position, not exaggerating like I was, there's still this space down there. This little space is enough to stick your fingers underneath. And in Pilates, we call that the neutral spine. And now if we take those fingers out and we really press the back down, so you see me rolling the pelvis here, pressing the back down. I'm also pulling the belly button down toward the spine. And now that space down behind the back has disappeared. And we call that imprinting or impressing the spine. And let's see. We keep the back pressed down and the navel pull the spine. Anytime we have the feet up off the mat, certainly when both feet are up off the mat, usually when one foot is off the mat, we'll be pressing the spine down as well. And we do that to protect the spine. The lower spine can be damaged, and we don't want to do that. And it's easier to damage it if these muscles all around the waist are not tight. So that's one of the reasons we do that. Another thing in Pilates is doing things precisely. Joseph Pilates was a stickler for doing things perfectly. So one of the exercises we'll be doing is called the scoop. We'll be bringing this leg up. We'll be lifting the head and shoulders so we can look down and we can see that the thighs are parallel, the knees are at exactly the same level, and then we'll lower. We'll be doing that a whole bunch. Lifting the leg, making sure that the thighs are parallel and the knees are at the same level. So coming to precisely the right position. Another thing we'll be doing is circles with the legs. And so, we don't want to be doing triangular circles. Ovals are okay, I guess, at least as we started, but we want to be making perfect circles, trying to make perfect circles as we do this.
No, I want to go to the back.
So I forgot to mute. Let me come over here and mute. And see, participants, mute all. Confirm. There we go. All right. So first thing we're going to do is a little bit of warm up. So let's start standing up. So we're going to come to a standing position, and we're just going to, pick the heels up and kind of like you're walking in place, just lifting the heels up, maybe lifting the balls of the feet up off the mat a little bit, and we're just moving. We're going to move a little faster, just warming up. Going to move the arms as well. Try and move in sync with the feet. I think I'm doing it like a camel does. Here we go. And then get in American sync here. Scoot back a little bit. Okay, we're going to start bringing up the knee. We're going to bring up the one knee and then the other. We're going to bring them across in front. And then we'll bring the hand up to the knee, or the knee up to the hand. Just going back and forth here a little bit. Warming up. Okay, so we're going to bend forward at the hips. I'm going to try and keep the back nice and straight. And so turn sideways, keeping that back straight. We're lifting the sit bones up, stretching the collarbones forward, and just stretching. Hands are on the thighs, and we're feeling this back here in the buttocks and the back of the thighs. So with your next inhalation, we'll come all the way back up. We're going to stand on one foot here for a while. So just whatever works for you. Doing a little bit of try to do a little bit of balance practice every day. Falls are one of the things that is the start of a serious decline for older adults. And so when we get to be an old person, we don't want to be unstable, because falling frequently leads to death. And so we're going to change to the other foot. Do the same thing on this side, just whatever you like to do. If you want to be perfectly still, to go into the yoga pose, anything like that, just being on one foot. So if you need to, you've got those toes touching. You don't have to actually be completely balanced. If your balance is not very good, then you want to be having the toes touching. Okay, and then we'll come back to the mat and sit down. The first thing we're going to do is a twist. So we're taking the right hand to the left hand to the right knee, and the right hand goes around back. We'll take that right shoulder up, back, and then we're going to press down into the hand to lift the chest, and then pull the belly in and turn and look over the right shoulder. And then we'll come back to the front, smooth things around a little bit, and then we'll twist to the left. The right hand comes to the left knee, and the left hand goes around back. That left shoulder is up, back, and down, pressing down to lift the chest, pull the belly in, turn around, and look over the left shoulder. Well, breath in as you exhale. We'll come back to the front. We're going to lie down now. And you can just have your feet on the mat. We're going to take the right foot up toward the ceiling. But we're going to start off at an angle. And the first thing we're going to do is get this knee really straight. So we're going to straighten the knee out. So think of pressing the knee down as you pull the foot up. We're going to flex the foot and press the heel upward as the knee goes downward. And then we're lifting the heel up as close to the ceiling as possible, keeping the knee straight. Then we're pointing the toes and flexing the foot. Pointing and flexing. We're coming back to the flex position, pressing the heel up and the knee downward, and then we're rotating the toes in the first direction. And we're rolling the leg in and out as we do that. So we're getting some movement in the hip joint as well. We'll come back to the flex position. The heel presses up, the knee presses downward. We're rotating the toe in the other direction. Toes go in the other direction. And again, rolling the leg in and out. So we'll come back to the flex position. Heel presses up, knee presses downward. We're inhaling, taking that foot up as high as you can take it, keeping the knee straight. And then we'll bend the knee and put that right foot down. The left foot goes up. Again, starting off at an angle, getting the knee really straight, flexing the foot, pressing the heel upward, the knee downward, sweeping the leg upward as far as you can, keeping the knee straight. And then we're pointing and flexing. So we'll come back to the flex position. Heel presses up, knee presses downward, and we're rotating now in the other direction. We're in the first direction on this foot. Coming back to the flex position, now we're rotating in the other direction. Coming back to the flex position, heel presses up, knee presses downward. We're inhaling, taking the foot up as high as you can. And then we're bringing that foot down to the mat right beside the right foot. We're letting the knees fall out to the sides to the left and the right. And so we're letting these inner thigh and groin muscles and tendons stretch out. If you wish, you can bring your hands up to the insides of the thighs and just apply the weight of the hands. Don't use muscle power to press down. So we'll bounce the knees up and down, an inch or so of movement. And then with the next inhalation, we'll bring those knees up. We're going to bring the right knee in, right into the center of the right half of the chest, and we're pulling the knee in toward the chest and then relaxing. So we're trying to get this knee to come in closer by relaxing the muscles and tendons. So we're changing legs down. Right foot comes down, left leg comes up, and now we're bringing the knee in toward the center of the left half of the chest. And we'll bring both feet up, bring the soles of the feet together and reach down, grab hold the shins, down at the ankles or at the feet if your flexibility permits. Wherever you can grab hold, we're gently pulling the heels in toward the groins and taking the knees as far apart as we can. And then we're relaxing, we're releasing, we're going to move around a little bit, roll from side to side, and we'll start the actual Pilates movements here. So the first movement is the 100. We're pressing the back down, pulling the navel down to the spine, lifting one foot up and then lifting the other foot up. If you're new to Pilates, this is the position you're going to be in. If you have done Pilates before, you want to take the legs up toward the ceiling, that's fine. So we have the hands down beside the hips. We're going to be moving the arms up and down. So notice that when I move my arm up and down, I'm exaggerating the movement right now, but moving at the shoulder, not flapping at the wrists or bending the elbows. So we've got these hands going up and down. Take a deep breath in now, press the back down, lift the head and shoulders so we're looking down toward the knees, and we're counting now. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 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 Last round. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. We're rolling the head and shoulders down. We're bringing those knees in, hugging. We can roll from side to side. Wag the tail by moving the tailbone side to side. We can circle the knees one direction or both directions at the same time randomly, or just hang here in what I have come to call the hammock position. So 2 things. You can go ahead and put your feet down onto the mat. The first thing is don't hurt yourself. If something is starting to hurt, then it's time to stop. Don't hurt yourself. There's no way I can monitor what you're doing, especially, well, whether it's in a big class or especially over Zoom. The second thing is we do a lot of this lifting of the head and shoulders. And so if you haven't been doing Pilates for a while, or you've never done it, then this can get to be a strain. And so, you know, we may have been up here doing this before. If the neck and shoulders get to be a problem, just put them down. Whatever we're doing, just put the head and shoulders down and let them relax. So we're straightening the legs out now, taking the arms up over the head. We're linking the thumbs together and stretching the arms out. So we're reaching as far as we can. We're reaching the toes down toward the wall beneath us and the fingers for the wall above us. And then we're arching to the right. So we are taking the head and shoulders and the arms over to the right and pulling the left fingers and toes a little further apart. We'll come back to the center and we'll arch to the left. So our head and shoulders go to the left, the arms go to the left. We're pulling the right fingers and toes a little bit further apart. So pull that right toe away. And then we'll come back to the center position. The arms come down beside the hips. We're reaching down toward the toes. With an exhalation, we lift the head and shoulders. So we're looking down at the toes. And then with your next exhalation, we'll roll right up to a seated position. And we're going to bring those feet in and put them down on the mat. Hands go behind the thighs, and we're pulling on the thighs, the back of the thighs here, so we can roll the top of the pelvis forward and lift the chest. Inhaling, we're lifting. As we exhale, we round the spine, and then we roll down as far as you can, staying under control. Deep breath in. As you exhale, we curl back up, sitting up nice and tall. Now we're reaching forward toward the toes. Inhaling, sitting up nice and tall. Exhaling, rounding the back and rolling down. Breath in, exhaling, we'll curl back up, sit up nice and tall, reach for those toes. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, round the back and roll down. So those of you who've been doing Pilates, you know what you're doing. Breath in, and as you exhale, we'll curl back up, sit up nice and tall, reach for the toes. You're doing roll-ups instead of roll downs. Inhaling, sitting up nice and tall. Exhaling, rounding the back and rolling down. Breath in, and as you exhale, we curl back up, sit up nice and tall, reach for those toes, and then we'll bring the hands down by the hips and we'll roll all the way down onto the mat. And we'll bring those of us who are new to Pilates, those of you who've been here for a while, you're going to leave that left leg along the mat. Those of us who are new to Pilates, we're lifting both feet up off the mat and we're taking the right foot up toward the ceiling. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, well, first of all, we're pressing, we've got both feet off the mat, so we're pressing the back down, pulling the navel to the spine, really firm here. And with an exhalation, we reach up and grab hold of this right leg, and then we take the left leg up toward the ceiling. And then we move the hands over to that left leg, and then we bend the right knee and bring that right heel back down toward the butt. Right leg goes up, hands move over, left leg goes down. Left leg goes up, hands move over, right leg goes down. Right leg goes up, hands move over, left leg goes down. If your head and shoulders are bothering you, put that down. Left leg comes up, hands move over, right leg goes down. And then we are bringing those knees in, hugging. We're rolling, wagging, circling the knees, hanging in the hammock, rocking and rolling, relaxing. So double, that was the single straight leg stretch. And so the next one is called the double straight leg stretch. Again, those of us who are new to Pilates, we're going to just have the knees up over the abdomen with the knees bent. If you want, you can take the feet up a little bit, and the hands can be anywhere you'd like for them to be. Breath in now and exhale. As we inhale, we take the legs down a little bit. So we're moving them down a little bit. Exhaling, we're coming back up. Inhaling, going down. Exhaling, coming back up. Now the back is down. The navel is pulled to the spine. It stays that way the whole time. Inhaling, going down. The back is down. Exhaling, coming up. The back is down. The navel is pulled down. Inhaling, go down. The navel is still pulled down. Exhaling, coming back up. Inhaling, down. Exhaling, coming back up. We're going to bring those knees in, hug. Roll from side to side, wag the tail, circle the knees, relax. So the next exercise is called the corkscrew. And we're going to roll from side to side and put the hands underneath the hips. should have done that for the double straight leg stretch, but I forgot to do it. So we're taking, those of us who are new to Pilates, we're just taking those legs up a little bit. If you've been doing it a while, you're straightening the knees out, rolling the legs out, we're pressing the knees and thighs together. So we're going to take those toes, we've got the toes pointed, we're going to make circles with the toes, trying to make perfect circles as we go in one direction. So the characteristic, one of the characteristics we're looking for, well, first of all, we're going to stop and circle in the other direction, is that as we do this, we're moving the legs, but the torso stays perfectly still. So I'm going to exaggerate this and rolling around here a whole lot. We don't want to do that. In Pilates, we're keeping the torso still as much as possible. Head and shoulders and the torso don't move at all. We'll bring those feet down, hugging, rocking, rolling, relaxing. The next exercise is called the single leg stretch, and it's a bit of a coordination challenge for a lot of people. We're going to start off with the left knee in and the right knee out. So you see I've moved the left knee in, moved the right knee out a little bit. We are taking the right hand up to the top of the left knee. So we're coming across with the hand to the opposite knee. And then the left hand goes down beside the left ankle. Deep breath in. As you exhale, press the back down, pull the navel to the spine, lift the head and shoulders so you're looking at that left knee, and then we're changing sides. So we're taking the left hand to the right knee. The right knee came in, the left knee went out, left hand's on top, and the right hand's down by this right ankle, and then we're going back to the left side. Right hand's on top, left hand down by the ankle, left knee is in, right knee is out, we're going back, the right knee comes in, the left goes out, the left hand's on top, and then we go back to the left and the right. So the back is pressed down the whole time. Maybe you lower the head and shoulders. We'll go back to the left side, and then we'll bring those knees in, hug, rock, roll, relax, put them down on the mat, let, whatever feels good to relax. Single leg stretch. Double leg stretch is next, but we're going to skip it today. And we're going to skip the one that's called the crisscross. If you know what they are and want to do them, go ahead and do them. Those of us who are new to Pilates, we're just taking a little break because we're not used to doing this. So crisscross. Crisscross is one that you will come to love. So we're coming back, we're putting the feet down onto the mat. We're going to let the knees fall out to the sides, to the left and the right. We're bringing the soles of the feet together, preparing for an exercise called the frog. So we've got the back pressed down, just like as though we had the feet up off the mat. In this case, we're preparing for something where we will have the feet up off the mat. So we're going to keep the back pressed down, even though the feet are on the mat. So the back is pressed down, the navel pulls the spine. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, lift the head and shoulders and curl up here and look down between the thighs. We're trying to lift enough so we see the toes. Inhaling, we come right back down. Exhaling, going up. Inhaling, back down. Hands can be wherever you want. Exhaling, coming up. Inhaling, coming down. Exhaling up. Inhaling, back down. Exhaling up. Inhaling, back down. And we're going to bring those knees in, hug and rock and roll. Relax in any way that makes sense to you. And then we're going to put the left foot down on the mat and take the right foot up toward the ceiling. So we're going to flex the foot, press the heel upward and press the knee downward. Maybe take the knee down a little bit so you can get the knee really straight, and then lift it up. Take a breath in as you exhale. We're lifting the head and shoulders, we're reaching up and grabbing hold behind the knee, behind the calf, behind the thigh rather, or behind the calf, wherever you can. And we're just pulling these toes up. We'd like to get these toes up over the face, but we're keeping the knee straight. And a breath in as you exhale, we'll change sides. Right foot comes down, left leg comes up, and again, we're going to get this leg really straight. We're flexing the foot, pressing the heel up and the knee down, taking the foot up high. Pardon me, with an exhalation. Lift the head and shoulders, reach up and grab hold of this leg someplace, wherever you can reach. And we'll bring the toes, we're trying to bring those toes right up over the nose while keeping the knee straight. And a breath in, and as you exhale, we're releasing. We're putting this left foot down. We're going to take the right foot back up, and we're going to point the toes this time. We're going to have that knee straight. We're going to take the right hand out to the side at shoulder level with the palm turned downward. And then the left hand, I'm going to demonstrate with the right. We're taking that left hand down so that the pinky side is on the mat and the thumb and index finger reach up here and just touch the hip. We're going to monitor the hip to make sure there's no movement. Okay, so we're going to take these toes around in circles. Doesn't matter how big it is. And what we're looking for is no movement at all in the hips or the ribs or the shoulders. Only the leg is moving. And so we're going to go around the other direction now. Stop and go the other direction. And then we'll bring that right foot down and we'll change sides. So the left hand goes out, the right hand now comes down to the hip. We're monitoring the lack of motion here. The left foot goes up, we're pointing the toes, straightening the knee out, and then we're doing those circles. The size of the circle is determined by your ability to keep the hips nice and still. So if you can do the hips nice and still, you can make big circles, but we're not doing that today. We're just keeping the circles kind of small as we learn how to do this. Get used to keeping the hips nice and still, and we'll go the other direction. Don't want to forget that. And I'm liable to. So now we're putting this left foot down onto the mat and rocking and rolling, wagging the tail a little bit. We're going to come up into something called the tabletop position. So we're lifting one foot up, reaching up and grab hold of that knee. Bring the other leg up. We're reaching up and grabbing hold of this knee. We're going to press the back down into the mat, pull the navel to the spine, and we're releasing the knees. The thighs, we want to have the thighs vertical and the shins horizontal. Let's see how I'm doing. It looks like I'm fairly close. And for those of us who are new to Pilates, this is quite an exercise. That back is pressed down. We're pulling the belly button down to the spine. But if you've been doing this for a while, you're going to be touching your toes down. I'm not going to demonstrate it today, but you know, if you've done it before, you know how to do it. And so you just do those. Those of us who are new to Pilates, we're taking it easy. If that gets to be too much, you're going to bring those knees in, hug, and rock and roll and wag the tail. And then come back into the tabletop position. And, you know, have the thighs vertical and shins horizontal, back pressing down, navel pull to the spine, and we'll just stay here. So if you've been doing this for a while, maybe you've progressed to the tabletop sit-ups. Those of us who are new to Pilates, we're just taking it easy here, and we'll bring those knees in again, hug and rock and roll a little bit. We're going to do that a third time. Those people who've been doing this for a while are going to do the tabletop push-up. So we can all do the tabletop push-up, I guess. We're coming back into the position, pressing the back down, pulling the navel down to the spine, hands on the thighs. As we exhale, we press as hard as we can on the thighs, and we resist the movement with the abdominal muscles and the leg muscles here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're hugging again. Rocking and rolling a little bit, wagging the tail. We're putting the feet down on the mat as close to the buttocks as possible. And then kind of arch the spine away from the mat. So, you know, you should make plenty of room here for your fingers to go underneath the spine, and then we'll press the back down, no fingers underneath there. We're lifting the tailbone slightly, inhaling, arching the spine away from the mat, pressing the tailbone down a little bit. And again, that little space, exhaling, pressing down, lifting tailbone. So we're going to continue doing this rock a few times before we do a bridge posture. So press that back down, lift the tailbone, inhale, arch the spine away from the mat, press the tailbone. This time, as we exhale, we press the back down. We start to lift the tailbone. As we inhale, we're going to peel the lower part of the spine up. And we're only going to come up as high as we need to before the lower ribs come up off the mat. The lower ribs stay down. Exhaling, we're coming back down. And when that tailbone touches, we inhale, arching the spine, pressing tailbone down, exhaling, pressing the back down. Tension on the lower part of the spine. Inhaling now, we peel that spine up off the mat. Exhaling, we come down. Inhaling, arch the spine, press the tailbone down. Exhaling, press the back down, lift the tailbone. Inhaling, arching the spine, pressing tailbone down. Then we're just relaxing. We're going to take a little break here. It's time for a 1-minute break. We take a break in the middle of the class, and I have to go run an errand real quick. I'll be right back. Enjoy your rest. So that's about a minute. So we're going to come back into position to continue. We're going to bring the right knee up and reach up and grab hold of that knee and gently hug the right knee down toward the center of the right half of the chest, relaxing as much as you can. So we're relaxing every part of the body and using the relaxation to allow the knee to be a little bit closer to the chest. And then we're changing sides. Right foot comes down, left knee comes up, and we're reaching up and grabbing hold of this left knee, gently hugging. And then we're going back to the right side. This time we're going to bring this knee up. We're going to bring the knee in over the belly button and hug the knee down toward the breastbone. With an exhalation, we lift the head and shoulders, and we're bringing the nose and the knee closer and closer and closer together. Eventually, we would like for them to touch. And we're changing sides. Right leg comes down, the left leg comes up, and we're reaching up and grabbing this knee, gently hugging the knee down toward the breastbone. And with an exhalation, we lift the head and shoulders, so we're bringing the nose and the knee closer together. And again, we want to bring them to the point where they touch, if possible. So we're going to keep this left leg up as we lower the head and shoulders, bring the right leg back up, gently hugging the knees. We're rolling from side to side, rolling the shoulders as well, giving ourselves a massage all along the spine. And then we'll come back to the center position. And with an exhalation, we lift the head and shoulders. We're going to roll along the spine a few times. And what we'd like to be able to do is control this so we roll right up onto the buttocks and park there without letting the feet touch down. Hands come behind the thighs if you need to. Shins are horizontal. If you can, you take the hands out from under the behind the thighs and turn the palms upward. And if you can, you take the toes up toward the ceiling. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands behind the thighs, shins lower, and we're using the abdominal muscles to roll forward, and the soles of the feet come together, and we're grabbing hold of the ankles and gently pulling back to roll the top of the pelvis forward. So rolling the top of the pelvis forward, then lifting the breastbone. Inhaling, lifting, exhaling, lifting, and as you exhale, press the lower ribs forward, roll the top of the pelvis forward a little bit, pull the belly button in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lift, but roll the pelvis forward, press the ribs forward, pull the belly button back, and then we'll sit back up and we're rounding. Breath in, and as you exhale, we're lowering the head, rounding the neck, the upper back. We're taking the forehead down toward the heels. So with each exhalation, we're bringing the forehead a little bit closer to the heels, but we would like to have a greater rounding in the upper part of the spine. So we are going to also lift the breastbone away from the heels. Deep breath in. As you exhale, reach down with the forehead, but pull the breastbone up. Another breath in, exhale, reach down, pull that breastbone up, curve the spine as much as you can. Then we're sitting back up, and we're going to come onto the right side. We're going to come onto the right side for a series called side kicks. So the position we need to be in is the back is close to the back edge of the mat, and the toes are close to the front edge of the mat. So the legs are piked forward slightly, and So the tailbone, the back is parallel to the back edge of the mat, and the toes are close to the front. The left hand is going to be on the mat in front of the chest, and we'll be hovering the left foot here. I'm going to flex that foot and kick forward. Now, as we kick forward, I'm doing it very slowly right now. The hips do not move. As you exhale, we come back, we point the toes, and we press this leg back. Try not to let those hips roll back. Mine did a little bit. Inhaling, flexing, and kicking forward. Again, trying not to move the hips. Pulse, pulse as we kick forward. Exhaling, pointing the toe, pressing the leg back. A little squeeze, squeeze in these buttock muscles back. Inhaling, flexing, kicking forward. Pulse, pulse. Exhaling, pointing the toe, pressing the leg back. Squeeze, squeeze. Inhale, flex. Pulse, pulse. Exhale. Squeeze, squeeze. Inhale. Pulse, pulse. Exhale. Squeeze, squeeze. We're coming back to the center position, and we're going to draw perfect little circles with the toes, soccer ball size circles. So soccer balls are not real big, but they are perfectly round. So we're trying for the perfect roundness. 3, 4, and 5. We'll reverse and go the other direction. 5, 4 perfect circles. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to turn the leg outward. So we're rotating the leg outward so the top of the foot is toward the ceiling, and we're kicking up. Nice straight leg here. Up 1 and down. 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're coming back down. We're going to bring this left leg in, reach down and grab hold of the shin, grab hold of the ankle, grab hold of the big toe if you can. We're taking this foot up toward the ceiling, and we're straightening the knee out. Just holding it there. If you want to, you can think of rolling the hips forward, pulling the toes back, and then bringing the toes up over the left ear. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring this left foot down onto the mat in front of the hips, or you can roll your knee down if you prefer. I prefer the foot on the mat. We're flexing the right foot, turning the toes downward, and then lifting the heel up as high as you can, holding it there for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're pulsing upward 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll bring that right foot back down, straightening out the left leg. We're going to pike the feet forward and then sit up, facing off to the side of the mat. Actually, since you're in your own living room, you can sit anywhere you want to, any way you want to. Taking the hands out to the side for the spinal twist. Deep breath in. As you exhale, we're twisting the shoulders around to the left and not sweeping the arms forward. We're just keeping those arms a nice straight line across. A little pulse in the shoulders. Inhaling to the center, exhaling, going to the right. Pulse, pulse. Inhaling the center, exhaling left. Pulse, pulse. Inhaling the center, exhaling right. Pulse, pulse. Inhaling the center, exhaling left. Pulse, pulse. Inhaling the center, exhaling right. And we're coming back down. The arms come down. The feet come wide apart. We're reaching the hands forward. We're lifting the chest, pressing those knees down. Deep breath in, lifting, and as you exhale, lift, press the lower ribs forward. Think of pulling the knees back into the hip joint. Inhaling, lifting, press the knees down. Exhaling, lift, press those ribs forward, pull the belly button back. And then we're sitting up and the hands come down between the thighs. Deep breath in. As you exhale, we're walking the hands forward like little crabs toward the line between the heels. Again, we're pressing those knees down. Deep breath in. As you exhale, we're reaching an inch further, inch or so, pressing the knees down, pulling the kneecaps back. Another breath in. Exhale to reach to the half an inch. Another breath in. As you exhale, get that last little smidge in there, 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, whatever you can get, and then we're rolling back up. So the next exercise is called the saw. And this is one that's peculiar to Pilates. I've never seen this anyplace else. And so we're taking the arms out to the side. We're going to twist to the left just like we did before. But this time we're going to sweep that right hand forward. We're going to lean forward and reach out toward the toes. Left hand sweeps around back. Sweeps around back with the palm turned upward. We're reaching out toward, we're taking the fingers to the little toes on that side. Inhaling, coming back up. arms to the side. Exhaling, we twist to the right. Now the left hand reaches over toward those right little toes. The right arms are round back with the palm turned upward. Inhaling up in center, exhaling left, reaching to the left. Inhaling up in center, exhaling right, reaching to the right. Inhaling up in center, exhaling left, reaching to the left, toes, inhaling up. Exhaling, we're going to the right side again, and then we're coming back up, the arms come down, and we're going to roll on to the left side. So we're coming into position for side kicks again on this side. So the back is positioned close to and parallel to the back of the mat. Legs are piked forward slightly, the toes are close to the front edge of the mat. Doesn't have to be exact. Right hand is on the mat in front of your chest. We're hovering that right foot and then flexing it. So it's hovered at about hip level. Inhaling, we kick forward without letting the hip roll around. Exhaling, we point the toe, press the leg back, and again, no movement in the hip. Little pulse, pulse, little squeeze, squeeze in the buttock muscle. Inhaling, flexing, kicking forward, pulse, pulse, exhaling, pointing the toe, pressing the leg back, squeeze, squeeze. Inhaling, pulse, pulse, exhaling, squeeze, squeeze. Inhaling, pulse, pulse, exhaling, squeeze, squeeze. One more of these. Inhaling, pulse, pulse, exhaling, point the toe, pressing that leg back, squeeze, squeeze. And we're coming back to the centered position and drawing those little soccer ball sized circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and reversing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're turning this leg out, and then we're kicking up as high as we can here. Keeping the leg nice and straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're bringing this right toe in, reaching down, grabbing hold, shin, ankle, toe, whatever you can grab hold of. We're taking this foot up toward the ceiling, straightening the knee out, roll the hip forward, press the foot back, and then bring that toe up over the right ear as much as you can. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're bringing the foot down onto the mat in front of the hips, or you're rolling your knee down, whichever you prefer. And we're flexing the left foot, turning the toes down to the ceiling, and lifting the heel up and holding it up there for 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're pulsing upward 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're coming back down. We're straightening out the right leg. We're rolling onto the belly and taking a little bit of a break here. So we're just relaxing. I'm going to spin this mat around so I'll be facing the camera. As we do this last set of things, what are we doing here? Looks all right. I think it turned partly sideways is what I'll do. Partly sideways. We're still relaxing. Turn your face in the other direction just to even out. So we're going to reach the hands out over the head, reaching for the wall up there above us, reaching the toes back to the wall that's beneath us. And we're going to lift the right arm and the left leg. So deep breath in, and as you exhale, we'll lift the right arm and the left leg. We're looking out beyond the right fingers here for 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll come back down, relax for a moment. And we'll go to the left arm and the right leg. A deep breath in as you exhale. We're lifting again for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll come back down, again, resting for a moment. I'm going to repeat that exercise. So the right arm and the left leg, a deep breath in as you exhale. We're lifting, looking out beyond the fingers for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're coming back down. Going back to the left side, a deep breath in, exhaling. We're lifting Looking up beyond the fingers for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we come back down. Bring the hands in under the chin. So we're going to do an exercise. I don't know, I guess I'd have to call it the birthday cake. We're going to pretend that there's a birthday cake right here in front, and it's got candles on it, and we're going to blow out the birthday candles, but we're going to do it by turning the face to the right side, letting the face rest on the hands. Take a deep breath in as you exhale, arching the spine upward. As we turn the face to the left, we blow out the birthday candles, and then we come back down. Deep breath in as you exhale, lifting, turning the face back to the right, blowing out the candles, and then coming back down. We're going to repeat that in a few seconds. So deep breath in as you exhale, arching upward, blowing out the candles, and then coming back down. Another breath in as you exhale, arching upward, turning the face back to the right, blowing out the candles, and coming back down. So next we've got a couple of foot exercises or leg exercises. And this is another one that seems to have a coordination issue. I know that I had problems with it when I was first learning it. And we're going to bring the right heel up. We're going to point the toes and kick the heel toward the buttock. And then we'll release and let that foot come down. Then we're flexing the foot and kicking toward the buttock. We're going to point and kick, and then flex and kick. Point and kick, flex and kick. Now that seems pretty simple, but when you start doing it faster, it gets to be an issue. Going to the left side, we're pointing and kicking the heel toward the buttock. We're flexing the foot, kicking the heel toward the buttock, and then we're pointing and kicking, flexing and kicking, pointing and kicking, flexing and kicking. We're going back to the right side and repeating. Pointing and kicking, flexing and kicking, pointing and kicking, flexing and kicking, pointing and kicking, flexing and kicking, and back to the left side. Point and kick and flex and kick, point and kick, flex and kick, point and kick, flex and kick. And we'll bring that left foot down. We're going to lift the right leg up. So let's let the chin come all the way to the mat. And hands can be wherever you want them to be, but let the chin or the forehead rest on the mat. And then we're straightening out that right leg with the next exhalation. Deep breath in as you exhale. We're lifting that right leg up as high as you can, holding it there for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're coming back down and we're moving over to the left side. Deep breath in as you exhale. Lift that left leg up as high as you can. Hold it there for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're coming back down. We're going to go back to the right and repeat that. Breath in, exhale. We're lifting that right leg up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And going back to the left side. Breath in, exhaling, lifting. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're coming back down. Bring the elbows directly underneath the shoulders. So we're coming into a yoga position called the Sphinx. So we've got the tops of the feet down on the mat and bring the heels together. We're going to press down with the tops of the feet, pressing down with the fronts of the thighs and the pubis. We're pressing down with the elbows, the forearms, the palm, the heel of the hand, the palm, the knuckle, and the fingers all pressing down. We're lifting the breastbone and looking ahead toward the wall that's ahead of us. Bringing the heels back together if you need to. Stay here for 10 seconds. Inhale and lift a little higher. As you exhale, we'll come all the way down and relax for a couple of moments. And then we'll bring the elbows underneath the shoulders again. Got the palms together this time, and we're interlacing the fingers. So double check to make sure that the elbows are directly underneath the shoulders. And then we're going to be lifting the hips up off the floor. So those of us who are new to Pilates, we're just keeping the knees on the mat, but we're going to be lifting the hips. So take a deep breath in as you exhale, lifting the hips up off the mat. Those of you who have been doing this for a while, you know what you're doing, but we'll keep it a secret from beginners for the time being. So we'll stay for another 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll come all the way back down, come all the way back down and relaxing. So we've got a couple of minutes. Let's bend the right knee and bring that right heel in toward the buttock. Reach back with the right hand to grab hold if you can. Grab hold at the ankle. Walk the fingers out to the toes and then bring that heel down toward the buttock. So if you can't reach the foot, maybe you can grab hold of the skin here at the Achilles tendon, just pull a little bit, or grab hold of the heel and pull a little bit, or if you have pants on, you can maybe grab the pants and pull inward. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're releasing, and we'll go to the other side. So we're bending that left knee, bring the heel in toward the buttock, reaching back if you can, grabbing hold of the foot, grabbing hold of the ankle, walking the fingers out toward the toes if you can do that, and pull the heel in toward the buttock. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're releasing. Okay, so we're going to bring the hands underneath the shoulders, and we're going to come up to all fours. I would like for you to do it a specific way. I'd like for you to try it. First of all, here's the way I don't want you to do it. Breath in as you exhale, press down, arching the spine upward, lifting the hips up at the last minute, coming up to all fours and adjusting. So we'll go back down that way. But what I'd like for you to try, bring the hands in under the shoulders, bring the elbows in close to the rib cage, lift the hips, and as you exhale, press down to lift the hips and the shoulders at the same time. Okay, so we're bringing the knees wide apart, sliding back into pose of the child, relaxing. So I love to do this very slowly. You get a really good stretch in the lower back. At least that's where I feel it most. You might feel it other places, but enjoy the stretch. So we'll reach the hands out over the head, and with the inhalation, we're coming up to all fours again. We're going to inhale and bring the right knee in, and as we exhale, we're shooting that right leg out back, straightening the leg out, lifting the foot up toward the ceiling. If you can, you take the left hand and reach up over the head and look out beyond the fingers. But if you can't do that, then this is pretty good for your hips and your lower back. So that hand comes down, the knee comes down, moving around a little bit, and then inhaling, bring that left knee in under the torso, and exhaling, we shoot that left leg out back, and lift the heel up as close to the ceiling as you can. If you can, you take the right hand up over the head, reach out and look beyond those fingers. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The hand comes down, the knee comes down. We're taking those knees wide apart. We're sliding back into pose of the child again. Again, coming slowly. So we take the hands off the mat onto the floor to the right side of the mat, and we're reaching away, and especially with the left hand, and we're reaching the left hip back toward the left heel, and then letting the head and shoulders relax. So we're moving the hands over to the left side now.
reaching off onto the floor and reaching especially away with the right hand, and then head and shoulders relax toward the mat and reaching the right hip back toward the right heel. So bring the hands back under the shoulders and pressing down as we inhale to come up and just come on into a nice comfortable seated position. And I hope you can still hear me because I see I've lost the video. And thanks all for coming.